Welcome, everyone, to this briefing brought to you by the Israel Defense and Security Forum, IDSF. In Hebrew, our name is Abitronistim. IDSF is a leading Israeli organization advocating for strong national security to defend the state of Israel. We are in a little bit of a different scenery than usual, and today's program is certainly very different than usual because the truth of the matter is it's not quite a briefing, but it's a request from all of our viewers, all of our supporters. You know, in these briefings, we talk a lot about the challenges of this war, all of the problems here in Israel. And today we're going to talk about solutions. We're going to talk about part of our vision of IDSF of how to make sure on October 7th never happens again. I'm joined by two special people. Yaron Buskila. Yaron, say hi if you can.
Hi, hello everyone.
We'll come back to Yaron. And of course, Ronit, as many of you probably are familiar. So the reason we're doing this briefing a little bit different today is because we have a phenomenal project of IDSF, something that's going to bring tremendous strength to the Gaza envelope and something that is really going to build the future leaders of the IDF for years to come. And now is the time to invest in the future leadership of the IDF. I'm going to stop speaking right now, and I want to show you a quick video, and then I'm going to introduce our very special speaker right now, Yaron Buskila. So hold on one moment while I turn on this video. Hold on a second.
The prearmy program is something that exists basically only in Israel. Usually, kids finish high school and immediately go to the army. Today, there are more than 60 prearmy programs. They are very, very different from each other. They don't have a real clear agenda, and the kids get a lot of information, but they don't have a clear path.
I think that we learned in the last year, since the IDSF established, that we have a lot of impacts that we can bring to these young kids, young boys and young girls. And in the last 4 years, we've been in many pre-army programs, and I think that this is the time to have our own pre-army program that belongs to the IDSF, to take these amazing, amazing kids and to give them the values and the morals that will make them to be the best commanders in the future.
I can tell how Amir Avivi and Yaron Buskila, Gershon Cohen, all these wonderful folks who go to pre-military programs, and you can tell after 1 hour of a lecture that there was a click in the room, something changed. Like these teenagers who are 18, 19-year-old, they just graduated from high school, and they're about to draft to the military, but beforehand they go through 1 year of leadership program. And imagine if the IDSF can lead such a change with a 1 hour lecture about Zionism, about values of national security, taught by our topmost commanders. How are these teenagers going to look like, and how are they going to be thinking, and what kind of belief and convictions they're going to have after 1 year of such a program?
So when I arrived in Israel, a week later, Operation Protective Edge started. And as someone who grew up in America my whole life, I've never seen something like that before. I've never seen, sirens and rockets over my head. Like, it's never something that I have ever seen. And I think that when I got here, I realized how important it is to know why we need to be specifically here. Because if we didn't have those values and that Zionism that, basically ensures that we will be here, then tomorrow anyone can come and say this land doesn't belong to you.
Tkuma is about 6 to 7 kilometers from the border of Gaza. You can see Gaza from Tkuma. On the 7th of October, terrorists arrived to Tkuma. but they were organized and prevented the terrorists from infiltrating into the town. Kuma citizens have been evacuated for 6 months. Many of them returned, but others didn't return yet. There are a lot of issues with, of course, with the resilience of the people of the town. And part of the mission of the pre-army program will be building resilience in the town. They will help with agriculture, they will volunteer in the fields. They will also help with the elderly, and they also help guarding the town. So in many aspects, they are going to help really building the town. And while doing so, we are hoping that they themselves, this young generation, will connect to the area of the surroundings of Gaza, will connect to the people. And in the future, they will want to live in this area.
So we are doing this campaign. We're trying to raise some money in order to build a tremendous pre-army program in the Gaza Envelope to educate the next generation of lions, of warriors for Israel. And I'm going to put in the chat right here how you can participate and make a donation. And we want to hear right now from Yaron Buskila, who is no stranger to all of you. Yaron is a warrior. Yaron is one of the lions that we are trying to replicate in this pre-army program. Yaron, why don't you share with our viewers why in the middle of a war, IDSF feels it relevant to focus right now on education? What's missing and what are we going to be doing about that?
Yeah, so I believe that many people ask themselves during this war in Israel and out of Israel, why don't the senior commanders of the IDSF actually want to win? What can we do about it, the IDSF? So this is a very, very good question. And when during my studies, when I was doing my MBA on business management, one of our lecturers told us one time that there are many groups or many people that have their own business that they can be rich, but they will never be rich. We asked why. What prevents them from being rich? And he said, first of all, they are afraid to be rich, and second, they don't feel deserved to be rich. And I never really understood that. And a couple of years later, I met with one of my cousins. He has a business on office supplies, and he's very, very talented. He's very diligent. He's very smart. And I was asking him why you don't extend your business. You can be rich. You can have a lot of shops, not only one. Why don't you extend your business? And he told me the first thing, I'm not doing that because I'm really worried. And I asked why you're so worried. And he said, to be rich and to extend my business, I need to invest a lot of money, and I need to invest a lot of time. And I need to invest in publishing and advertising and doing so much, and don't see my family more hours. So I don't think that I can do that. And the second thing that he said, for what I am right now, it's enough for me. I don't think that I deserve to have more. I live with what I have. So if we're talking about this war, first of all, I think that one of the problems that we have with our senior commanders in the army, that first of all, they don't really understand or don't really want to invest so much and to understand the aftermath of winning this war. Because, if we will now take the decision and give the order to attack Rafah, to take over Rafah, it means to have a problem maybe with the Ministry of the United States. It means to have some problem with Egypt. That means to invest more money from the budget of Israel. Yes, getting into a war or defending yourself while a war, it means to invest a lot, and you need to be ready to invest a lot. There is no war, if you want to win in a war, that you get into a war the same way that you left it. No, getting into a war, if you really want to win, you need to invest and to understand that there is a lot of aftermath. Second, you need to be connected to your roots, to connect it to your morals, to understand that you deserve to win. This you have to win, and there is no other way. If you're not really connected, if you're not feel that you are connected to this country, connected to this nation, and even the reason for being a commander in the army is not from a place that you're coming from here, and it's coming only from here, you will never move forward and want to win this war. And you always think, maybe it's better to finish like that. Maybe we can live with that. Maybe living under launching rockets every day, that like the same that we've been like in the last 20 years. Okay, we can live with that. No, we're not deserved to live in this way. We need to demand to win. So what we can do about it, the IDSF, so we are an organization, a grassroots, and what can we change? I think that the first thing, or maybe the main thing, is to make sure that the next soldier that coming to the army, coming with a good reason, know exactly what is the real reason for coming in the army, being connected to their morals, to their roots. If you are really connected, there is no reason, there is no way that it will change during your service. And there are many pre-army programs in Israel, but I think that nobody had a real DNA. They give them everything, they hear about everything, all of the options, all of the opinion, and they let them choose their way. And I think that this is a mistake. When you're taking a young boy or girl and you want to educate them, you need to give them the way, to show them the way, to show them exactly where they belong. Not just to mix everything and let them choose. No, we need to, the same like we're doing with our kids, everyone that have kids and want to educate them to the right way, showing them what is the right way. Don't just telling them about all of the options, telling them, that's where you need to be. That's the right place. That's how you need to be when you will be old. That's where you need to be when you will be a father and you will, maybe be a commander. So I think that's the main difference. First of all, we have the right people in our organization, a good commanders, a good leaders, really connected to Israel. Second, we have our special way. We know exactly what we want to do. We know exactly where we belong, and we know exactly that we can win, and we have to win. And that's what we want to give them, and that's the way we want to educate them. And we're not waiting. We are already working. If you already saw in the video, you can see that the tractor is there. They start to work. We will pay them. We will do that. But first, we have to move forward. We have no time. We have to start and work. And I invited you to be part of that, to be part of educate and the next commanders of the IDSF and the next senior commanders in the next future.
Yaron, thank you so much. Before we go to Ronit, I want to ask you an important follow-up question. We're asking people to make a donation to IDSF to educate the future leaders of Israel. Now, you have American Zionists, Canadian Zionists, Australian Zionists, Zionists around the world who want to use their money for good. And they'll ask, wait a second, shouldn't I make a donation to buy a ceramic vest or a helmet or another flashlight for soldiers in Gaza? Isn't that more important at this moment than education? So Yaron, you were the operational commander of the Gaza division. You know what is needed. Explain to all of our viewers why they should divert money, potentially, from equipment for education.
First of all, I have to tell you that from the first day, 7 October, and I was fighting on 7 October in this area, like immediately I saw so many people that from Jewish people all over the world that just wanted to give to support in many ways. To donate a vest for the soldier, even giving food or socks, even sending letters. Then many real good ways to donate to Israel and to help Israel win this war. This is not the IDF, it not belong only to the Israelis. people. The IDSF belongs to the Jewish people all over the world. This is the army of all of us. And I think that one of the main way to invest is to invest on the future of Israel. And I think that is a very hard way to do that. There is no many option to invest in the future of Israel. Right now, we're all focusing on the current problems, but I think we need to think about how we are creating solution to the next problem that will come. Of course, as long as we're living and we are neighbors of Arab countries, and we're not the neighbors of Switzerland or Sweden. So we have to hold our sword and to always be prepared to defend ourselves and to defeat our enemies. But we cannot do that with the right commanders. Without the right commanders, no one can win. If I was going into a mission in Lebanon or Gaza, as I did in the 24 years that I was in the army, and I was thinking or feeling that my commanders don't really believe in the mission and don't really feel or understand or telling me that we cannot win, I will never follow him. So we want to have the right commander that will lead our soldiers to winning. And I think that's one of the ways, one of the important ways that you can be part of that.
Yaron, thank you, of course, for sharing all of that. And to all of our viewers, we are right now in the midst of a crowdfunding campaign. We're trying to raise money for this pre-army program in Moshav Tikuma on the Gaza Envelope to really make sure that Israel is safe for generations to come, to make sure we have the leadership in place that we need. You can see on your screen here how you can contribute. You can take a picture of this QR code that is on your screen, or you can go to that link, bit.ly/IDSF Mechina, or you can go into the chat and click on that link and donate. And I'll also let you know that right now we have a matching donor who is going to match dollar for dollar everything that comes in now for the next few hours. So it is definitely worthwhile, and it will boost the impact of your donation if you are able to click on that link and participate. Now, as we said, we're building this project, this campus in Moshav Tikuma in the Gaza Envelope. It seems like the perfect place right now to really strengthen Israel. And the question is, why build it in the Gaza Envelope? Why build it in Moshav Tikuma? So I'm very pleased to be joined right here by Ronit, who is going to explain a little bit more why we are specifically choosing Moshav Tikuma and how the Mechina will contribute to the surrounding area.
Hello, everyone, once again. Today I'm wearing a different hat. Well, actually two hats. One is IDFS, of course, the hat that always is on my head. And the second hat, in my volunteering position, I am the chairwoman of Moshav Tikuma's municipal committee, which is a very luxurious word for like a small mayor of 850 people, dealing with a lot of issues such as garbage, infrastructure, building. And one of the things that I'm in charge at the moment is the well-being of the residents of the Moshav. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about us. Of course, on October 7th, we are 6.8 kilometers from the Gaza border. And on October 7th, we had terrorists coming very close to our front gate. They have not entered because we had a vehicle of border patrol, everything by accident, by coincidence. And with the car, with the radio of the border patrol police car, we heard the police fighting for their lives. We knew exactly what was happening. And the commander of our response team closed the whole Moshav, the front gate, the pedestrian gate. And we had all of the response team, which were then volunteers. Today, they are already drafted and they're part of the army. But back then, they were volunteers coming with their pistols because we had no weapons and protecting the front gate of the Moshav. So we didn't have any terrorists entering. We did see vans with terrorists, pickup trucks coming very, very close to the gate and continuing, as well as others that tried to bypass the gate and come through the back entrance. but they were all killed, thank God, by police who were following them. Now, the moshav was had no evacuation plan because it's not on the fence, it's not on the border. It is 6 kilometers from the border. So we had no evacuation plans. So it went like this. A bus came and said, I am taking families to Eilat. Then another bus came and took to Tiberias, another one to Jerusalem, Netanya, Modi'in. And the whole moshav was dispersed across the country, literally for 6 months. After 6 months, we have returned to the moshav around March, April. Not everyone has returned. 15% of our residents have not returned. Mostly are ones with small children who are afraid to come back because of, first of all the noises, the proximity to the border. Our school is right next to the border and everything that is happening. We have not, we were told, of course, by the army that we are not returning to a safe place. We are returning to a place which is under fire. We are returning to a war, and a lot did not return. Now, the community that has returned broken to fragments. Literally, we came into sub-communities that have been formed in the different locations in Israel, and there's a lot of need for help and assistance in bringing everyone together unified. Now, my dream, ever since I started being the head of the municipal committee 5-6 years ago, was a mechina, a pre-army program. It brings a lot of energy into a community. And now, more than ever, we need this to strengthen the community, bring new energy, help so many of our community members, starting with the small children and the youth and the agricultures and everything, and of course the elderly. For example, one of the things we want to do is bring a learning center for our children. Our children have been in 4 to 5 schools this school year only. Each school has different levels, different subjects, different everything. And these kids have not learned since Corona, since COVID. So this year has been very, very challenging for them. And we've opened a learning center such as this in the moshav, 3 hours, only once a week. And we didn't expect any of the kids to show because, you know, this is the TikTok generation and they have better things to do than show up and start learning for their math. We were amazed to see the kids flocking and wanting to study more and more. And instead of 3 hours, we're doing it for 6 and 7 hours. They're not leaving. So we want the participants of the mechina to come and strengthen and do it every day on a daily basis, and not just for high school, also for smaller grades, lower grades. It's very, very important. Also for Jimboree with small children. They will help with the elderly, as I said, and they will help also guarding the moshav together with our response team. And we are really counting on all of this happening already on September 25. That's the date. Now, it's very important for me to tell you that these programs in Israel, it takes 2 years until we start receiving governmental funding. And that is why we have to do the funding today, as well as the building. We do not have buildings at the moment there. And of course, we are also offering naming opportunities for those of you who are interested. And so it will be the building. And of course, it will be all of the routine schedule, of course, of them coming. It's sleepover, so it's food, it's board, it's where they sleep, it's where they volunteer, it's where they study and they learn, and where that's going to be the center of their lives for the next 10 months. Very exciting, and I'm very, very excited to share this with you. And any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer.
Before we go back to Yaron, I just want to share a couple thoughts. First of all, anyone who's having any issues with the link and making a donation, you're of course welcome to reach out to me after the briefing and we can make sure everything works out. I also want to share just a quick idea that very often when we talk about donations and charity, tzedakah, we use this term give until it hurts. Give until it hurts, right? Meaning it's very easy to give a few dollars here and there and it doesn't affect your life. It doesn't change how many times you're going to go out to Starbucks. But give until it hurts means to make it a little bit stretched beyond what you can, because there's a good cause. But I want to tell you something. Give until it hurts has a completely different meaning here in Israel. Because here in Israel, in this war, people are giving when it hurts in a completely different way. They are giving their children, their husbands, their wives. We are giving our families to fight in Gaza, to make, unfortunately, sometimes the ultimate sacrifice. Here in Israel, Jews are giving until it hurts, and it hurts a lot. If you're not here in Israel, if you're not giving of yourself to fight this war, you have to ask yourself, how are you going to give? How are you going to give until it hurts to really be a part of what is happening over here? So I appeal to all of you, please, if you care about Israel, give until it hurts, not as much as it hurts us here in Israel, but do what you can to participate. I'm going to put on the screen again the information for those of you who are not able to pull it out from the chat. And I want to go back to Yaron Buskila, who understands what it means truly to give until it hurts, a man who has given so much to our country, so much to the army, and so much to our organization. Yaron, as a commanding officer, what charge can you give us as we wrap up this campaign today, as this briefing comes to a close?
So I just want to share with you that 3 weeks ago, I was in the Nova Party area with Ronit, and as we were walking there, young officer came to me, and they asked me, your name is Yaron Buskila? And I said, yes. I said, don't you remember us? I said, no, I don't. And they told me that 4 years ago, in the first year when the IDSF was just established, we were coming and talking with them when they were in the pre-army year in one of this army in other areas of Israel, pre-army organization. And they said, listen, we can never forget you and Amir Avivi when you talk to us. And we want you to come and to speak to our soldiers too. And I was thinking to myself, wow, if they remember what I was telling them, what I was talking with them 4 years ago. So I think if you have such a big impact for those soldiers that become right now an officer, and now they want us to come and to speak to their own soldiers when they are in this position, why shouldn't we open our pre-army program and we can educate this next commanders? And that, I think, like the main thing that we want to do. If we can bring an impact on a youth before they go into their enlisted to the army, this pre-army program, in one meeting, so what can we do in a full year before they go into the army? And I think this is my main message. I think that all of us, my son next year is going to the pre-army program, and I hope and I pray that we will open at the time that he will be part of this pre-army program, and I'm sure that he'll be a better commander if he will be in this our pre-army program of the IDSF.
Lieutenant Colonel Yaron Buskila, thank you for inspiring us, for sharing with us, and for giving of yourself. Thank you to all of our viewers who, by the way, are right now, I see the donations coming in. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And again, right now, donations are being doubled now for the next few hours. Don't wait for a few hours. Do it right now so that we can really build this mechina and that we can really strengthen the IDF for generations to come, so that on October 7th never happens again. We're going to close up with Ronit.
I'm just going to say a few words. First of all, I'm going to say thank you. It is very touching to see everyone's donations. So really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're facing so many fronts, the residents who have returned, a lot of issues that we didn't expect. For example, we were told that there will be also a unit of soldiers protecting our moshav. And when we returned, it was. And we were told that our kids in elementary school would not need to go to the school right on the border. which is where it is. It's 2 kilometers from the border, but the government will build us a new school. And we were told that the response team will not be released from Army service. And ever since we came back, everything is starting to fall apart. And this mechina really strengthens us when we know there's new powers and new strength coming inside our community. And it is really exciting for all of us. I just wanted to share that with you, that sometimes there are these rays of lights coming through, and this is the time exactly now. So thank you so much, and have a Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much to everyone for joining this briefing. Thank you to Yaron. Thank you to Ronit. We will continue with our briefings Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. here in